What's up everybody, my name is Big Cam and welcome back to another Hot Toys figure unboxing. And today we have another 1/6 scale figure unboxing. If you saw the title and thumbnail, this is an exciting one for me because my first Wolverine figure, baby. And you can see the Deadpool over here from Deadpool and Wolverine, and obviously this isn't the Deadpool and Wolverine, but the Wolverine from the Wolverine movie, and James Mangold's The Wolverine, where he's over in Japan, and we get a little bit more of like a origin story for him and like when he was back, you know, in Hiroshima and then, or Nagasaki, whichever one he was in. But you know, we get a little bit more of like a samurai version of this character, and that's kind of the version of the character we got here. But you can see Hot Toys, the Wolverine on the front, movie masterpiece in the bottom corner. The Wolverine down the side with the, it looks like the figure with a sword with like kind of blood splatter on it. This is MMS 220, so I believe this is a very old figure. Some legal information around the back, and the Hot Toys movie masterpiece series, the creative producers, the head painter, the head sculptor, you know, like all the people involved with the design of this. You can see a look of the figure there with his bone claws and that ugly wrist peg. Oh, we'll get into that in a second, but this is kind of like a shoebox design, so it slides off the top, revealing that red outer box. And there's also some claws, 4 claws, I believe those are 2 metal claws, 2 bone claws, and then he comes with an extra pair of pants and boots for his alternate look. Now, I've heard getting that alternate look on him is quite a pain in the ass, so I might not do it. Also because this is an older figure and I don't love exposed elbow, shoulders, wrist joints. And once you take everything, all the outfit off of him, you're just going to see all of those, and that won't be how I'm going to be displaying him anyways. But if you want to do that with your figure, hey, by all means, go ahead. I still might do it just for shits and gigs, just to get him in that outfit one time, just to use it the one time. But I also think it might be better if I keep it the way it should be in there, you know, like all sealed away. But I know for sure I'll be taking this apart anyways, because I'm going to want to use the bone claws and the regular claws. So maybe, you know, if I'm unpackaging it anyways, maybe I'll just throw on the look just for shits and gigs and see what it's looking like. But take off this little plastic piece here, kind of like a shoebox, and it has this little cardboard cover of like the movie poster with the 3 Wolverine slashes through, like, I believe this is like the Japan flag maybe. But yeah, very cool. I'm not normally a fan of those little cardboard slip covers. They don't normally do much for me. But looking at this figure slide off the top of this plastic, or just slide out the whole figure out of this box. Wow, wow, wow. So you can see there, he's got the suit on, he's got a sword, he's got a sheath for the sword, he's got a couple of swap out hands, plus the hands that come on him. So he comes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hands, and then 4 claw hands, right? So 10 hands total. A little display base. Now, some people said they don't love this head sculpt. I don't necessarily, you know, think this head sculpt's gonna be like my all and be all, like, oh, this is dope, I love this head sculpt, because the new ones, when that comes in, is going to look so much better. But I also love this movie and I love this character, so, you know, as long as it looks even remotely like Hugh Jackman, I'm going to be happy. But let's pop off the top of this and see what this figure is looking like. Oh wow, I'll have to get a closer shot of this, but the detail on the hand sculpts is actually quite impressive for an older figure like this. Like, he's got like Wolverine style furry hands. Like, it almost looks like there's like fur and hair painted onto the top of it, you know. Although one detail I think on the Wolverine fists that would make it really like feel like this character is if he had little scars where the friggin' blades come out in between his knuckles, because, you know, doing it over and over and over again, yeah, he has healing, but that scar would be there. No, might not be an open cut bleeding, but the scarring would be there. No, I don't know, I feel like that would be a nice detail that we rarely see on Wolverines, but like we saw maybe a little bit in like the Wolverine or like Logan, you know what I mean, where he's like older and not healing as fast. But yeah, it looks like he's got some grabbing hands, some regular just down by his side hands, Another grabbing hand for the other side, but let's take a closer look at this figure. A little bit of weak knees and weak ankles, but that could just be an older figure. Nice tie down the middle. I'm gonna have to play with that to make sure that that's sitting correctly. He's got a nice overcoat, nice blazer, nice couple of fist hands on him. Let's take a look at that head sculpt. Oh yeah, what are people talking about? I see Wolverine so much in this. I mean, sure, it's a little bit like an action figure, but like, what are we asking for? We're looking at action figures here. Well, this is obviously, I'm not holding a 1/6 scale Hugh Jackman, but feels like it. You know, I'm holding a 1/6 scale Wolverine, who looks like a Hugh Jackman, and like the way his hair kind of like poofs up on the sides like Wolverine does. Yeah, this is a nice looking hair, even if you don't like the head sculpt itself. And I don't believe this is moving eyeballs, but they kind of gave him like a glaring, like his head down, glaring up, but also kind of off to the side a little bit. So yeah, decent little eye angle that they come with out of the box type of thing. But even just looking at this, you have to undo the belt buckle, take off the top, take off the tie, undo the buttons on the shirt, take off everything, take off the jacket, take off the shirt, take off the blazer, take off the tie, take off the shirt underneath, then slip all that off, put on another pair of pants. Like, I don't know if I could do that, man. It seems like a lot of effort. God, I might have to. And honestly, if I get the new 20, whatever, John Wick 4, brand new John Wick from the 4th John Wick movie, he comes with a white t-shirt, and I've always been more of a fan of the John Wick with the black t-shirt, but I don't love the John Wick 2 head sculpt over like the John Wick 4 head sculpt, if you know what I mean. So maybe if I get that, you can use this body, take off Wolverine's head and put on John Wick's, and you can have like a little John Wick custom, you know what I mean? For my first Wolverine figure, I'm not mad at all. I really like how this figure looks. I love that he's suited and booted. This is like one of the only times that you ever see Wolverine in a suit. And of course, it was like he's in this John Wick suit before John Wick, and I loved it. And honestly, it's like the samurai vibes in that movie, but also like just how ferocious Hugh Jackman is in that movie, but he also is like as jacked as he's ever been for that role, and he had played that role like 5-6 times at that point. So by the time he's getting to the Wolverine, and he's like on his like second origin movie, but they're not really doing an origin, but like more of a solo thing, and James Mangold's script was amazing. I really dig this figure. I really dig the movie. Comes from the Wolverine. I really dig what James Mangold did with the Wolverine, and then Logan after that. And let's be real, I love Hugh Jackman. He's, if not my favorite character growing up, he's one of my favorite characters. Definitely one of my favorite characters today, if not my favorite character. And that might be a little biased, just because of when I grew up I loved this guy so much. But also, we haven't seen him on screen being Wolverine other than in Deadpool Wolverine most recently. But, since the Fox X-Men days, there's been a lot of characters introduced that I really love as well. Hence all these characters behind me. Deadpool, like this guy paved the way for my love of these characters, but there's a lot of other characters I love too. So I don't know if I could say he's my favorite character, but he's damn near up there. He's up there with Hulk, Captain America for me. Like there's certain people that I really, really dig and love. Ghost Rider, Moon Knight most recently is like one of my newest favorite people. As soon as I saw him, I was like, I love the look of this character. I need him, like need more Moon Knight in the MCU for sure. Shang-Chi, like there's tons of dope new characters, but every now and again you go and buy one of these older figures and it reminds you how much you loved these older characters in these older films, and you're like, yeah, no, it's still great to have love for the new stuff and the old stuff, like just because something new comes out doesn't mean you now hate the old stuff, right? Like you can like it no matter what, like whatever you want to like. But let's take everything that this 1/6 scale Hot Toys Wolverine from the Wolverine movie and lay out all of his accessories on the table here in front of me and see what this figure comes with. All right, we got all the accessories here for Mr. Wolverine laid out in front of him. He's got, you see, the 4 extra hands in front of him, and then the 4 claw hands in the plastic there, along with an extra pair of pants and an extra pair of boots. And the white tank top that goes along with that outfit is already on him underneath the suit outfit. And he also comes with this nice looking sword, and it comes with the sheath. But nice lettering on that sword there. Nice heavy sword. It does feel like die cast. It is a little sharp, a little pointy. Not too sharp, actually. You know, safe for kids-ish. Definitely wouldn't want that going through your eye or something. But a nice looking sword for Mr. Wolverine to hold. It kind of reminds me of Ghost of Tsushima. The nice katana blade with the, like, custom personalized wrappings, you know what I mean, like the strings. Very cool indeed. Slide that back in there. Yeah, nice little fit. And I'm sure he can hold it like this or hold it with just the sheath part. But yeah, very cool sword. And then there's also these hands. You got a couple relaxed hands, couple grabbing hands for that sword. But you can see a closer look at that hand. You know, the paintwork on the hands are actually quite good. And you can see like that Wolverine furriness creeping down onto his hand as this thing struggles to get focus. But yeah, I was talking about this earlier, but yeah, just very cool how highly detailed that hand is and the fur on it. And like, it looks like it, but it's, you know, it's very smooth still. But actually, you can almost feel a little bit of texture like over the top of it, like his furriness is creeping down onto his hand. And I initially said maybe I wasn't going to put on this new outfit, but it's going to be a hassle, but I think I have to try it at least once and see what he's looking like with that outfit, you know, in those scenes where he ends up, you know, more like this and using the bone claws towards the end of the movie. But my final display option, I'll probably leave him like this if I can end up getting him back into the suit version after the fact. But let's try out a couple of different poses here and see if I can't get him into the secondary outfit. Just wanted to show the detail on these claws a little bit, and you can see the reflective metal sharpness, definitely pointy claws and for the metal ones, but look at the detail on the bone ones. I mean, the bone ones look really good. They look good in the hand coming out, where like if you look at the metal ones, sometimes like I don't know if you can see from that angle there, it looks almost like the metal ones like were slotted in there, where like the bone ones look like they're coming out of them. I don't know, maybe that's just a little nitpicky stuff there for me, but very, very cool to see two, not just claws for the first time on a figure like this, but 2 different sets of claws, bone claws and the metal claws, and pretty much the same size. I don't know, maybe the metal ones are slightly longer. Yeah, very highly detailed paint. Like you see the furriness on the hand there, but the detail on the bone claws. Yeah, really cool. I can't wait to get these on the figure and see what that's looking like. But I figured we do have this second outfit. Why not try and do it anyways? And I figured, why not show you a little bit on how to get this jacket and stuff off. It does say, take off the hands, put the arms back, and then, you know, start undressing this bastard, you know, and start taking off layers and taking off one sleeve at a time like you would in real life, and pop one out, put in another, onto the next, you know. Don't get little strings caught. Be careful while you're doing it. You don't want nothing to rip because you want this to be able to come back on. But you could have them just with the normal suit jacket if you didn't like the whole trench coat look. And then the same thing here, the jacket's gonna come off, and then the tie is gonna come off. You undo these buttons. I think the shirt doesn't fully unbutton and the tie doesn't fully come off, but you just kind of slide them up over the head. I'm pretty sure you have to take off the head to be able to do that. The belt, I'm pretty sure, works like a regular belt. And then, you know, down to the shoes, the ankles will pop right off. You're gonna have new pants, new everything. So let me take everything off of this and see if we can't get him looking correct with the secondary outfit. All right, so we were able to get him out of the suit and into this secondary outfit. And I do actually like the boots, the brown pants, the wife beater, little white tank top. the sword in one hand, the sheath in the other. And I do like how this figure looks actually in the tank top. It does remind me quite of Hugh Jackman and how he normally looks in these movies, you know, guns out and ready to rock and roll. But I will say the joints in the elbows I don't love, you know, and the joints in the shoulder, particularly this one here, like what is that? I don't know if I could get his arms situated any better than that, but from front on it looks fine. But like, if you ever catch that angle, that looks awful. But yeah, not too bad. You have to like, there's like a Velcro behind the zipper here. You got to undo the Velcro, undo the belt, like just like normal pants. And then there was like this white undershirt under the tank top. So you have to take off the tank top anyways, take this off, put the tank top back on. This felt very much so like a doll, right? The other ones feel like action figures that I've just kind of like set up into a different pose and I'm off and running from there. This thing, on the other hand, take it all apart, take it, undress it down to nothing, dress it back up, put everything back. Now I'm gonna have to do that again if I want to get them back into the suited look. Like, oh boy, I mean, just process and a half. Definitely feeling more like a doll every day. But with that sword there and that slightly down angled head, that you can't tell me that doesn't look like Hugh Jackman. It looks really good. I love the little dangly blue ribbon off of the katana. The sheath looked really good as well. But let's toss the bone claws into this old boy and see what that's looking like with Wolverine with a couple of claws in his hands. Just a couple figure comparisons now that I have the Wolverine here with a sword in his hand. I figured, why not toss him next to a couple of my other swordsmen? I only have two, and one of them would be Ronin Hawkeye here with his sword blade type of deal. But man, oh man, would it be awesome to see like a samurai, older school Wolverine go up against the samurai style Ronin Hawkeye. Oh, imagine if Hugh Jackman and them and Fox was all with Marvel before Endgame and they were able to use that stuff back then. Oh man. But I have another figure comparison that I can toss this figure next to that might be a little bit more fitting and maybe a figure that people want to see this character next to. Now this does feel so proper to have a Deadpool next to this Wolverine. Oh man, I mean, the Wolverine definitely comes after X-Men Origins. So I mean, people were clamoring way back when for Deadpool to look like this next to this level of Hugh Jackman when he was young, he was in peak shape. But, you know, you say that, but then you see his physique in Deadpool and Wolverine at 50 something and you're like, you know, Hugh Jackman still got it. And I did think I was going to maybe pull out the sword for Deadpool, but I just love the way that those gold deals look with the little gold accents all over the Deadpool suit. I love that little head pool is flying up over the side of him. But I might display these next to each other, or I might wait until the Deadpool and Wolverine comes out with the yellow and blue suit and have them kind of ketchup and mustard next to each other. And maybe I'll just have this Wolverine maybe above Deadpool on the shelving display. But I do have one other figure comparison I want to toss him next to, and that's maybe the only other person that's as old as Wolverine in the MCU. Now, this is a figure comparison I can get behind. Remember back in X-Men Origins Wolverine, as bad as that movie was, I was always fascinated by the opening credit sequence where Hugh Jackman's Wolverine and his brother Sabretooth, Liev Schreiber, they're like going through the different times in different wars that they've been through, and they've been through all these different wars. So if Hugh Jackman's Wolverine has been in all these different wars, maybe he fought alongside or against or near or in the same vicinity as Captain America at some point. And this is, I think, the oldest figure I have is Captain America, the Star-Spangled Man version from Captain America, the First Avenger. And obviously, I think this movie came out in like 2011, 2012, which I think is right around the same time the Wolverine movie came out. But I don't know, I think I really love that Captain America suit, but I think I'm really digging this Wolverine figure and the sword. I might even have to rep with the katana, just because the katana looks so cool, and it's like a real, die-cast sword, so it's like heavier, it's got nice weight to it. and I don't think I'm going to be repping him with this white and brown outfit. I think I'm going to go back to the suited outfit, and let's jump back over to that, and then I'll show you guys some poses for these figures and show you the type of action poses you can get this Hugh Jackman figure into and what you can get him looking like, and then we'll toss him on the shelf and see what my final pose is going to look like. All right, so we got some poses here. We have the tank top, brown pants look with the katana in one of his hands, and then he's just pulling the katana out of the sheath in his second look. And then, of course, I had to throw the bone claws in that tank top, brown pants and boots look, and have the bone claws crossed. And then I have the bone claw blocking in the sword in another hand. And then we switch over to his second outfit, in his black suit outfit that I will probably be repping him in just a regular relaxed pose with his arms down by his side. And then we have him with the metal claws out in kind of his classic Wolverine pose with both claws out to either side, ready to attack, ready to pounce on whatever prey he has in front of him. And then his final pose, kind of recreating one of the movie posters with one of the claws out, ready to go in one of the hands, and the Japanese katana in the other hand. And I really do love the way that this Wolverine looks. The trench coat, the black tie, he's kind of like John Wick, but if he was Wolverine in this movie, you know, and if he was also dealing with Yakuza ninjas and that type of thing, like he's over in Japan, he's not set in the States like normally they are, right? Like they're normally in Jersey or something, right? At the X Mansion. Not in this movie, they're not. And I love Deadpool and Wolverine so much, so it's so good to see Hugh Jackman still playing this role. I mean, this was 100% in the top 3 of my favorite characters when I was a child, and it damn near might be still in my top 3 today. Might even be number 1, you know? Like, as far as actors playing that character, this guy is certainly up there as my favorite person to ever portray a character on screen. I mean, I was always a Hugh Jackman guy, but I was also always a Wolverine guy because of Hugh Jackman, right? And then because of Wolverine, no matter what Hugh Jackman's done, I've gone and watched that because I love Hugh Jackman because of Wolverine, you know? Like, you can't really win. Whatever he's doing, I'm gonna see. So if he's gonna be playing Wolverine till he's 90, well, guess what? I'm gonna be watching Wolverine till he's goddamn 90 and be happy no matter what. Even if they end up doing a Wolverine or switching up and doing a different Wolverine and a new X-Men, which eventually they will have to do, but they just have to acknowledge that Hugh Jackman played this role so perfectly, even though he's not comic book accurate. You know, he's not 5 nothing, this grizzly little short king, but he certainly has the aggression and the passion and the anger and the grunts, you know, and the, you know, like all of the vibes that Hugh Jackman brings to screen is so awesome. But I think it's time to toss this bad boy on the shelf and see what he's looking like in his new home. With the only other Wolverine thing I have in this room being the Wolverine popcorn bucket, yeah, I'm thinking that was a good choice to go next to that. And he just barely fits. I think, honestly, even if I just had him like straight leg, standing straight up and down, his head might touch the shelf above it, but just enough clearance on the popcorn bucket, just sneaking in on the shelf. Now the sword does stick up a bit, but I kind of like that. It gives it some depth, kind of like Wolverine is, you know, really standing there popping off the shelf, just like Hawkeye, Kate Bishop over there shooting a bow, you know. Very cool. But yeah, no, I'm really digging how this figure looks, and I like that he's just above Deadpool there. Maybe eventually I'll slide them next to each other, maybe slide that hard-eyed Lego bust head next to the Wolverine popcorn bucket, or maybe slide it down there. Who knows? But for now, that is where my Wolverine is sitting. Thank you guys so much for coming on by and joining me for another Hot Toys unboxing video. This has been a Wolverine unboxing from the Wolverine movie in his 2 different outfits that it comes with. And this is an older style Hot Toys figure from the Wolverine and a movie masterpiece, 1/6 scale collectible figure. I really dig that, and stay tuned for tomorrow's unboxing. sneak peek right there. Stay tuned though, that will be coming out tomorrow. And if you've made it this far in the video, I really appreciate you, and I hope you enjoyed. And if you want to support the channel, the best way to do that is dropping a like down below, a comment down in the comment section, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss future videos. Hit that bell so you get the notifications the next time a Hot Toys unboxing video comes out. I'm trying to do them at least 1 or 2 every weekend. So, you know, Saturday, Sunday, Hot Toys unboxings, movie reviews during the week. Monday, Comically Boston, Weekly Nerdy News, you know, and we cover the news of the last week and everything in nerddom. And then there might be some breakdowns coming up for any new TV shows coming out, but those will be midweek or whenever those episodes drop, randomly, but consistently, movie reviews all week, Hot Toys on the weekends. That's kind of the schedule. And once again, my name is Big Cam. If you want to follow my other social medias, links for those down in the description below. Thank you guys so much for coming on by. My name is Big Cam once again, and I will see you beautiful people in the next one. Peace.